It'd be really cool for the two of us to fight like that someday.
No, 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 no. Wait. Wait.
Hey, ever since I started playing this game, my comment sections have been flooded with people telling me that the Future Saga DLC is one of the best expansions this game has ever received, if not one of the best original stories told in a Dragon Ball video game. Initially, I had my doubts. The older story packs, while entertaining, rarely left a permanent impression on me, with the exception of that excellent Infinite History DLC. But man, am I glad I was wrong. Not only was this worth every penny, but it delivered everything I ever wanted to see from this game while putting its own unique spin on the concepts that I loved from Dragon Ball Heroes. We get more wild what-if timelines to fix, a crazy new transformation, and a much-needed deep dive into Fu's character that evolves him from that whimsical prankster that he's felt like up until this point. Future Saga Chapter 1 originally released back on May 24th, 2024. Now 2 years later, that final DLC of the pack is officially dropping in a few days, set to complete this saga and bring a definitive close to this game's long-running story. This latest saga marks a major turning point behind the scenes as well. Now spearheaded by a new development team led by Young Song. To map out the game's history, Harano directed DLCs 1 through 10, Kashiro stepped in for 11 through 16, and now Song is driving the ship to the end. This transitional era came paired with a massive wave of fresh content, and the community response to Song's leadership has been overwhelmingly positive. So does it actually live up to that massive hype? Let's jump right in and find out. This insane story kicks off back in the Time Vault, where Fu is waiting for us with some major news. After doing some extensive homework, he's actually managed to craft a replica of a time ring. Because it's a replica, it's not going to be nearly as powerful as the real thing, but Fu's petty logic is that it's just not fair that only the Supreme Kais get to use these tools to hop through different timelines. The only caveat is that activating this thing requires a massive amount of power. And after his antics in our past stories, he's pretty much running on empty. So naturally his next big idea is to use us as his personal battery for energy harvesting. The Time Patroller of course wants absolutely nothing to do with this. Fu has already proven time and time again that he can't be trusted, and giving him the power of a time ring is only going to make things worse. To try and entice us, he offers to let us tag along to the future, so we can see what we're going to be up to, but he bails before we can even give him an answer. Within moments, his classic antics cause total chaos, sending Kranoa sprinting our way to deal with a highly unstable time rift. This time around, our CAC has finally learned their lesson about keeping secrets from the Supreme Kai of Time. Now that she's aware of Fu's plans, she sends us into the rift alone. She does mention that Trunks is occupied on another mission, and if you want to know exactly what he's dealing with, go watch the video I did on the Breakers. Where we land is a very confusing timeline. Future Trunks, Gohan, Piccolo, and Vegeta all gather on the battlefield after sensing an immense power drop in. What they find is Fu, alongside a massive warrior, introduced as another long-lost Saiyan. But the second Vegeta proudly states that only himself and Kakarot are the last living survivors of their race, Broly begins to crack and lose his temper, forcing Fu to step in and pull his leash back to get him under control. We land right on time, just as Fu and Broly launch their assault on the Z Warriors. It becomes immediately evident that our heroes stand absolutely no chance against this monster. Despite our addition, Broly dominates the fight entirely in his base form, leaving everyone stunned at how a warrior could be this absurdly powerful without being a Super Saiyan. Mid-match, Fu decides he's collected enough data on Broly's base form. He stops the giant in his tracks like a loyal pet bull and takes off to find Goku. The rest of the cast immediately give chase, leading to a much longer pursuit than any of us anticipated. Vegeta, true to form, is furious about how he's being ignored and prepares to fly off in a rage after the two, but Trunks stops everyone, demanding the group slow down and strategize, realizing that rushing blindly into the situation is a death sentence. For the first time in a long time, the residents of this timeline actually stop to ask the Time Patroller what the hell is going on here. Trunks knows we must know some kind of information considering we showed up simultaneously with Broly. The Supreme Kai of Time chimes in over our comms, shocking the Z team with the realization that a literal goddess is monitoring this situation. Unfortunately, even Kranoa is completely in the dark regarding Fu's actual endgame. The only thing we know for sure is that we have to intercept Broly before he finds Goku. But that brings up a massive question. Where is Goku anyway? Well, Gohan tells us that he's off training somewhere else on the planet, which naturally leads into the next big mystery. When exactly is this occurring? Obviously, since this is an unstable time rift, certain events from the manga and anime are allowed to split off into their own unique course of history, similar to the parallel quests. But looking at the clues, this specific timeline has to be in a reality where Cell was successfully defeated, but Goku somehow managed to survive the Cell games. There's simply no other way this makes sense. Otherwise, Cell would have crashed the party somewhere along the lines here, and Goku wouldn't be off on a solo training retreat while Gohan hangs out with the rest of the Dragon Team. While the group searches Earth for Goku, they pause to figure out their next move, only to suddenly sense a massive cluster of evil key signatures spiking over in West City. The rest of the movie villains have officially arrived. Janemba, Metal Cooler, Bojack, and Android 13 have invaded this timeline, all seeking vengeance on a version of Goku who's never met them before. The patroller's involvement here is the only reason Vegeta survives this encounter, because Janemba absolutely would have murdered this man in any other situation. But, of course, true to form, Vegeta acts like it was just another Tuesday and tunes right back into tracking Broly. Now that everyone has cleaned up their respective movie villains, we take off to put an end to the legendary Super Saiyan. There's two separate versions of this quest. Alongside the patroller helping Vegeta, we can team up with Gohan and Piccolo to take down the other villains. Though I'm not so sure what starts this up, but when re-recording this section, I got thrown into this one.
There they are! Over there! No sign of Kakarot anywhere. Fine then, Broly shall fall by my hand! Out of my way! Yeah! Yeah! Ha! Ta! Yeah!
You all right? Who are you guys fighting anyway?
Dad! Stop! Get away from here!
Impeccable timing! Nice of you to show, Goku! I'm not completely ready, but it's now or never!
Kakarot! Kakarot!
What do you want with me? Hey, I'm on your side!
I'll kill all of you! Tch, pathetic worms!
Thank you for the assist!
I will handle him!
This DLC is treating Broly like the monster he is, delivering some of the best animations we've seen in the entire Xenoverse storyline. A few supervillain powers still in its early stages of development. On paper, using the most volatile villains in the franchise to harvest energy makes sense, but for a scientist, testing your unrefined theories on someone as unstable as Broly feels incredibly reckless. Yet when you remember he's purely using this chaos as a battery for energy harvesting, it also is somewhat brilliant. But Broly isn't done wreaking havoc on the planet just yet, and he takes off. We get bogged down fighting even more movie villains. Every time we clear one out, Goku has a piece of dialogue tailored specifically to them, and he only seems to view Janemba as the actual threat here, which makes total sense given how strong he is. Naturally, at the end of this, Goku is so impressed by our performance that he wants to throw hands with us too, but we have much bigger fish to fry here. Broly is still out there causing chaos, and the rest of the Z Warriors are struggling to hold the line against him. We arrive at the battlefield to find Super Saiyan Broly has already wiped the floor with the Earthlings and is easily pushing back Piccolo and the Saiyans. The voice delivery in this specific scene feels really off, like they just pulled whatever audio files they had on a hard drive and tossed them in here. I haven't heard voice work this out of place since that old GT DLC in the first game.
Looks like you made it.
I'll kill you all!
We step in and start jumping Broly to take him down as fast as possible, but Goku's involvement only derails the encounter further as Broly's anger continues to spike. Suddenly a wave of dark energy erupts and the heroes in the field are consumed by the exact same evil power Broly has been using. The Supreme Kai at time points the finger at Few, but this isn't his doing at all. It's not said until much later in the DLC, but the Ultra Supervillain energy is insanely unstable, as if that wasn't apparent already, but the energy is able to infect others around them. There is only one way to get them back to normal, and it's forcing them out of the state. Our Patroller and Goku are forced to beat down down the Dragon Team, burning through massive amounts of energy we desperately needed to save for the main event. Once we beat everyone back to their senses, the Dragon Team is now drained of energy, leaving just us and Goku to face the legendary Super Saiyan. On a side note, I wasn't sold on Johnny Young Bosch's take on the Z Broly initially, but he has found his footing with the character and puts on a great performance here. By this point, Broly has already grown far past what he was supposed to in this timeline. Thanks to the unrefined first state of the Ultra Supervillain energy, Cronoa actually believes he may have surpassed any version of himself that has ever existed, which is why she's so impressed Goku's even able to stay standing against him. Goku attempts to end it with a full power Kamehameha, but it does nothing to the Saiyan. Now enraged, Broly lunges straight for the patroller, forcing Goku to throw himself in front of the attack, taking the full brunt of the damage before leaving the fate of the universe in our hands. As Goku falls to the ground, he entrusts the rest of the fight to us. It's also here we see how dangerous this supervillain power can be if under the wrong hands. This Broly is actively pushing our patroller to their absolute limits, the exact same patroller who has defeated Mira, gone toe-to-toe with the God of Destruction, and surpassed Ace, the patroller who defeated some of the most impressive foes in the series. Cronoa wasn't exaggerating, this guy really is the strongest variant of Broly in the multiverse, and he almost won this match. Finally, with a cinematic climax that perfectly mimics the iconic ending in the original Broly the Legendary Super Saiyan movie, we finally bring a close to this chaotic chapter.
This is where you die.
It's now or never, or we're dead! All of us! The Earth! Everything! We need power! Power to overwhelm Broly! We have to give it to them!
I guess at this point, they're our last hope. You want me to give my energy to some piece of trash?
Father! Vegeta! Come on, please! We need your help! Give them some of your power!
Damn it all! If I'm going to do this, you had better not lose!
The team gather around to give praise to our patroller, but in the shadows, Fu's plan has proven to be successful, as he's gathered enough data on the dark energy to further his studies on it and refine it even more. But what he manages to create is something far more deadly than I think he ever anticipated.
Ha! Yeah!
Good work, Goten. Keep coming at me just like that.
Okay, here I come! Ha! Dad, what happened?
Huh? What happened? With what? Wait, what's going on? You've got my face!
Is my superior divine body to your liking?
Goten, run for it!
You're too late.
Hey now! You promised you wouldn't do that! I was the one who got you the Super Dragon Balls, remember? Surely a god can keep a little promise, right?
Fine, very well. Just do what you must for your little experiment. And try to be quick about it.
Right. I'm on it. This is still a work in progress, but it should be able to draw out your power.
You mortals craft the strangest contraptions. It never ceases to amuse me.
I have to hand it to the developers, this is a brilliant way to reintroduce Goku Black in a very fresh way. We played through the standard version of this arc so many times now that throwing us into a timeline that only existed as a brief flashback in the original series is a genius move. Few managed to win Goku Black over by tracking down the Super Dragon Balls and promising him unparalleled strength, ultimately amplifying the Rogue God with his newly refined, upgraded version of the supervillain energy. While the bizarre premise baffles Trunks and Krenoa, the real standout here is the threat of the enhanced power. Krenoa warns us that this power is a tier above any other magic power-up we've seen prior. Before we can even formulate a plan, Fu boldly interrupts us right inside the time nest, dropping a quick taunt that the stage is set before teleporting away. Our patroller lands back in on the timeline, where Goku is training inside his Zamasu body, and once noticing us, decides to try the strength out on us. Look, Goku just casually accepting his new body without raising any kind of alarm to the others on Earth just feels wrong to me. I don't like saying stupid Super Goku moments, but this really felt like a stupid Super Goku moment. Either way, Vegeta touches down on the battlefield, most likely drawn by the immense collision of our power fighting each other. The second he gets a close look, he notices the face doesn't match the energy. Before the shock of a second body swap can even sink in for Vegeta, future Trunks descends from the sky, now completely consumed by the corruptive supervillain energy, and launches an assault on the group. I really love the detail here where Vegeta tries to snap him out of it by appealing to his Saiyan pride. Now once we successfully beat the corruption out of Trunks, he wakes up entirely disoriented with no memory of how he even arrived in the past. The only thing echoing in his mind is that Bulma is in mortal danger, forcing him to take off into a frantic panic towards Capsule Corp. When we arrive, Goku Black has already knocked out Bulma, and he and Fu are planning to abduct her. Her genius time travel interventions in the future timeline have made her a prime target for Fu's research, though he hides his true intentions behind a wall of blasphemous god-slaying rhetoric, expertly framing the kidnapping as part of Black's divine crusade that wins over his cooperation. Now with his wife in danger, we are treated with a new My Bulma moment for Vegeta here.
You bastard! You think you're leaving here alive? How dare you touch my Bulma!
Black's deep-rooted hatred towards mortals only intensifies when he witnesses Vegeta tap into his godly Super Saiyan Blue aura. Seeing a mortal wield divine power drives an incredible, aggressively and malicious Goku Black to take us all on right then and there. Vegeta is still disgusted that Goku somehow allowed someone to steal his body in the first place, but since they have no idea how the magic works, they can't just outright kill Black without accidentally killing Goku's body too. Fu, true to form, really doesn't like direct fighting and decides to step back, leaving the four heroes to handle Black alone. Even with the numbers on our side, this match doesn't go the way you'd expect it thanks to the Ultra Supervillain power-up. Despite the absurd scaling, the heroes successfully back him into a corner. And if you know Zamasu, you know he always finds a way out of a tight spot.
Foolish mortals! You will suffer! What is that?
Distortion of space? Is this a result from his power-up? Incredible! This is so cool!
Spare me your drivel. All of space and time are meaningless before the likes of a god such as myself.
Are those guys from Universe 6? I don't recognize some of them. Why are they here?
Oh, Master!
Is that you, Goku? What is this?
Bring them as well.
Yes, sir! Oh, Captain, my Captain!
No, you don't! Get back here!
Let's go!
The continuous use of in-game cutscenes has only gotten better as the story progresses. I don't know the exact origin of that Kaba running reference, but man does it look amazing. In a wild twist, the Universe 6 fighters arrive to help back up Goku Black. Since this timeline takes place pre-Tournament of Power, this is technically the first time Goku has ever seen Caulifla and Kale. However, we can safely assume that these two were pulled from a post-TOP timeline, given how much stronger Goku says Kaba is and because both Kale and Caulifla are already utilizing their Super Saiyan forms. But while we're fighting, Goku also notices that something is deeply off with Hit. He isn't fighting with his usual precision. His rapid defeat prompts Goku to note how bizarre this encounter feels.
Ah!
What?
Looks like they're back to normal.
Wow, Hit! Hold on. You weren't actually being controlled?
No. Apologies for the deception. You are Goku, are you not?
Yeah, that's right. That guy isn't me.
So I see. And you're the one that brought us here, is that right?
You fools! You would dare harm the body of a vengeful god? Insolent! Arrogant! Thankless! Foolish mortal cretins! The time to repent for your pride is upon you, pathetic feeble mortals! You shall now know the wrath of the gods!
Run away!
The filth still persists. This power I possess, it is befitting of a god.
If anyone deserved to showcase the next evolution of this new villainous power, I am incredibly thankful it was the Mad Deity himself. This next stage of the form partially cloaks the user's body and clothing in a stark black mist, shifts their irises to a striking pink and crackles with dark lightning around the aura. The visual centerpiece is a large, fractured pink crystal jarring out from the left side of the chest.
It's becoming clear. You betrayed me. And what have you done with the woman now?
Trunks took her back and whisked her away. But no biggie, right? It's not like she's on our side or anything. Really wish I had asked her about the time machine, though. Missed opportunity.
Your transgressions are punishable by death. And yet, this power you've given me is intriguing. Very intriguing. As a reward, you have earned a privilege. The privilege of being the first to hear of my Zero Universe plan.
Zero Universe plan?
Yes, you heard me correctly. I will eradicate every last universe using this power. With all of creation wiped from existence, I shall forge a new world in its place. A world where I reign over mortals and guide them along a better, purer path as their one true god.
That sounds so lame. Real talk, that plan is absolutely awful.
You know, I've grown far too weary of looking upon your face. Your traitorous deeds are more than deserving of punishment beyond even that of the divine. What's this?
That was a close one.
Gotta say, you really are a hero, huh?
The toll of all this malicious power on an already corrupt god ultimately culminates in the Zero Universe plan, a concept that fits Black perfectly. Yet despite the escalating cosmic danger, Fu refuses to help us whatsoever, even though Goku literally just saved his life a second ago. Instead, Fu is still entirely locked into his research, which I can't be upset over. Actually, it makes a lot of sense. The power has now reached another massive upgrade, so he desperately needs to study this. To make matters worse, he just learned a ton of information on how time travel works thanks to his conversation with Bulma, sending Krinoa's temper into overdrive. Back on the battlefield, the Universe 6 warriors are doing everything they can to stave off Black, but nothing they throw at him is working. He's simply too strong, which prompts Goku to break out the ultimate last resort, the Spirit Bomb. The team just needs to buy Goku enough time to gather the necessary energy, He calls on the world for help, and of course millions of Buffy fans across the globe gladly lend a hand to Spike in his time of need. Black easily tears through the Universe 6 fighters, which was a bit frustrating to watch. I know he's insanely powerful and leagues beyond anyone else on the field, but Hit should have been a much bigger help here. Vegeta eventually finds his way into the battle to assist our patroller, but he almost immediately does a total 180.
You know who I am? There's no need to wait for Kakarot to charge his technique. I'm more than enough to handle you!
Quite the bravado. I'll grace you with my tongue, then.
Damn it! Get this forever, Kakarot!
I also have to praise Sean Schemmel's performance here. It's truly phenomenal. His delivery for Black has improved tremendously, showing a night and day difference from his work in the first DLC pack.
It's finally ready!
What's this incredible power? It seems I have made an egregious error. Lousy Goku. I should have killed you back when I had the chance! Ah!
What? The spirit bomb is...
You pathetic mortal. You forget you are in the divine body of a god! You lack the very comprehension to wield it properly!
What the hell? After all that?
You struggle in vain. Curse you all!
Do it, Kakarot!
You messed with the wrong mortals!
Impossible! But I attained the ultimate body in the universe! This can't be!
With Black finally defeated, our immediate threat is gone, but the secondary problem persists. They still need to get Goku back into his own body. Since the standard Earth Dragon Balls can't affect gods with their wishes, they're forced to track down the Super Dragon Balls instead. By the time the Z Warriors turn around to thank our patroller, we've already vanished to hunt down Few. Speaking of Few, he's ecstatic, having successfully harvested a mountain of data from his little experiment. He takes off to begin the technical process of harnessing that massive energy reserve for himself. Before Few takes off, we get a subtle hint of where he's heading next, and shortly after, another derailed time rift begins to stir up. But this one is set back during the era when Beerus first descends onto Earth. Given the fragility of this specific era, Krinoa prepares to send the patroller in, though she attempts to pack a basket of her lethal homemade cookies as a gift for the God of Destruction. Having learned our lesson from the past disasters, Trunks steps in to advise against it, barely saving us from heading onto the portal with a snack that would have gotten us erased on the spot.
Now show me. Show me the power of a Super Saiyan God!
I can do this! Yeah!
I am far from impressed. Should I go ahead and destroy the Earth now?
Ah!
So yes, we are back in the Battle of God storyline for the third time now, but this time it follows a route fans have speculated about for years. The Prince of all Saiyans has achieved godhood instead of Goku. Vegeta is up there fighting Beerus, but things aren't nearly going as well for him as they did for his rival. The patroller and Trunks touch down to assist the Saiyan Prince. Vegeta immediately questions our sudden appearance, but Trunks deflects the interrogation to focus entirely on the threat ahead. Vegeta insists he has the situation handled, but Beerus welcomes a 3-on-1 handicap match with open arms. Unfortunately, Vegeta simply can't hold back Beerus the way Goku did in the original timeline. Throughout the entire encounter, Beerus is just toying with us, leading Trunks to make a shocked comment about the sheer scale of a god's power. Hold on a second. Trunks has seen Beerus use way more power than this. Not only that, but he's literally fought Beerus before. This line had to be a total mistranslation, or the new dev team just overlooked the game's own continuity.
I'm finally feeling amused, but still, why don't we try this?
What?
Father! Over here!
Damn it! Yeah!
Whatever this power is, it's not bad at all. Let's continue our bout.
Good show, good show! While we're at it, let's invite a guest to the party. Shablam!
Where am I? Wait! Vegeta! Your energy's way more wild than it usually is! Woo! Now I'm in the mood for a good fight! Hey, that cool, Vegeta?
Don't you dare! Interfere!
Huh? Yeah! What's wrong with you, Vegeta?
I won't miss next time.
Vegeta! Hey, knock it off!
Look, I feel like I criticized Trunks a lot in this series for being absolutely useless, but his reaction time in this scene is mind-boggling. He clearly saw a few stepping right out of the portal, and just stood there completely dumbfounded. So many of the timeline crises could have been averted if Trunks simply acted with a shred of urgency. Now, there's been a ton of theories that this state serves as the development team's legal workaround for Ultra Ego given the ongoing restrictions regarding manga content. Personally, I only catch glimpses of that inspiration, specifically during the animations for his massive key sphere, his charging posture, and that deep hue of his aura. Outside of that, I don't really see it, but maybe I'm missing something. This malicious energy forces Vegeta's deeply rooted rivalry with Goku to manifest as pure hatred. He shifts his focus away from Beerus, dead set on eliminating Kakarot. At first, Beerus is annoyed by the distractions, but he quickly decides to just kick back, relax, and watch the two Saiyans tear each other apart. Trunks realizes the only way Goku survives this encounter is if he matches Vegeta with his own divine transformation. This prompts the Elder Kai to chime in, reminding Trunks that they can perform the Super Saiyan God ritual right now with the team on Earth. Man, I haven't heard Elder Kai's voice in a while, and I can't say I miss his presence. Trunks and Goku head down to Earth to start the ritual, leaving us solo to hold off Vegeta. But even when we hit him with our strongest attacks, his sheer determination keeps him standing, obsessed with securing that victory. Seeing that his experiment might go sideways if he doesn't intervene, Fu decides to jump in. He warps Vegeta straight to Earth through a time rift, aiming to cut Goku off before he can achieve the Super Saiyan God form. Witnessing the sudden prospect of getting to fight two Super Saiyan Gods instead of one, Beerus decides he'll wait for us up in space. The promise of two top-tier opponents is probably the only thing in the universe that could make Beerus this patient. We touch down on Earth to find that Trunks has already filled everyone in on the crisis, but Vegeta arrives hot on our heels, ready to destroy Goku. The crystal's mind corruption makes anyone under its influence hyper-impulsive with their motives. In any standard situation, Vegeta's pride would dictate waiting for Goku to finalize his God form to guarantee a high-level contest that he'll win. While the rest of the Dragon Team focus on completing Goku's ritual, our patroller Tien and Piccolo launch a counterattack on Vegeta to keep him from disrupting the process. Once Super Saiyan God Goku finally steps onto the field, the combined force of our four heroes deal enough damage to break the mind control for a brief moment. But the second the dark influence reclaims his mind, Vegeta replicates Black's technique, tearing open a reality rift, summoning Raditz and Nappa. but were also warped by the ultra supervillain power to back him up. Now this sequence would have benefited from a fully animated cutscene, but given how much production value the devs already poured into this expansion and that the established lore of the form's wild ability speaks for itself, they just took the easier route here. Can't say I blame them. Vegeta manages to blindside Goku and the two escalate their duel away from the primary battlefield, leaving our patroller to clean up the Saiyan remnants and their Cybermen fodder. It is always satisfying when modern content pairs Tien against Nappa, giving him a window to enthusiastically claim his revenge. With the subordinate threats neutralized, the path clears us to refocus entirely on Vegeta.
It's been a while since we fought like this. The last time was at the World Martial Arts Tournament. Guess we're due for a rematch. Let's finish what we started.
I would say we're overdue. That's it. Give me more, Kakarot!
All right. Have some of this! Da-da-da-da-da-da!
So those two have finally returned at last.
I haven't fought like this in a while. How invigorating. You have my thanks, Kakarot. At last, I can finally beat you down!
Ah!
I don't need any more power than what I have. I'll beat you as I am now with nothing but my own power! Your time at the top ends now, Kakarot!
Is this Saiyan spirit, or is it Saiyan pride?
Awesome! You're amazing, Vegeta!
Enough, Kakarot! Recompose yourself! Take this!
Oh!
Zip! Now we're talking, Vegeta!
Through sheer unyielding Saiyan pride and the burning desire to surpass his rival on his own terms, Vegeta manages to completely shatter the crystal's hold, breaking entirely free of the ultra supervillain state. Watching from above, Beerus notices that both Saiyans are actively shattering their limits once again. He decides to push them even further, using the threat of destroying the Earth as the ultimate motivation. This forces the two newly minted gods in our patroller to team up and take on the God of Destruction directly. Now this is the first time in a long time that the game gives a boss super armor. While I generally dislike seeing that mechanic, it's nowhere near as bad as the first game's overuse of it, so it doesn't really ruin the flow this time around. Goku and Vegeta are rapidly growing mid-match, and Beerus is finally getting the high-stakes thrill ride he's been waiting for.
While you eventually proved a little fun, you two could only muster this much.
Uh-oh! Come on, Vegeta!
Damn it! Damn it all! Final Flash! I can't feel my hands!
Not today! The Earth is not getting destroyed!
A proud Saiyan warrior, will not be bested by a god! Take this!
We did it! Yeah!
Man, what an amazing ending. Incorporating the Super Saiyan Blue transformation to the final attack does a fantastic job of showing how these two will always find a way to break their limits when faced with adversity. The two Saiyans immediately ready themselves to face Beerus one more time, but the Destroyer has officially seen enough. These two have proven themselves as worthy combatants, though being Beerus, he's obviously never going to admit that to them outright. Instead, he just claims he's too tired to bother and declares that the Earth is spared, heading back to his world and leaving Goku and Vegeta to finish their duel on much friendlier terms. Before we head back to base, Fu teleports onto the scene. Even though his experimental power upgrade eventually faded, he still had an absolute blast watching the chaos unfold, and he views this entire adventure as a massive success. He's insanely impressed by the Saiyan's raw potential as well. It's here where he drops some ominous foreshadowing, mentioning that he wishes the two of us could have a clash like that one day, before quickly walking the statement back when our character clearly shows no interest in entertaining the idea. Now equipped with all the combat data and energy he needs, Fu escapes once again, but it isn't long before he boldly shows right up at the time nest, proudly showing off his finalized time ring. He offers the patroller an exclusive sneak peek into what lies ahead, tearing apart a localized temporal window. Before the contents of the future can be revealed to us, Krenoa and Trunks storm the room right on cue and scare him off, leaving our patroller behind to fill them both in on Fu's dangerous new invention. Alright, look, you guys were right. This DLC was absolutely amazing. It's no shocker to anyone that I'm a total meathead, so getting a proper Xenoverse story based on the original Broly movie won me over from the very beginning. Even after going through the grueling process of editing this video a second time after I lost all my footage, the whole story never lost its charm. I had a blast from start to finish. Biases aside, the team did a phenomenal job innovating within familiar territory. The Ultra Supervillain state feels like a great final evolution for the classic supervillain power-up, and I genuinely cannot wait to see where this all ends. Fu's obsession with manipulating the future is bound to catch up with him. By the time this video goes live, the final DLC pack should be releasing just a day or two, but don't worry, I still have the remaining chapters to break down before we hit the grand finale. But before I head out, I want to hear from you guys as well. What do you think Fu actually saw in the future timeline? And do you think the Ultra Supervillain form is a deliberate nod to Ultra Ego, or is the community just reaching? Drop your theories in the comment section down below. I want to hear from all of you guys. As always, it's been your local overanalyzer Artellings, and I hope you have yourself a damn good one.